Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Resto. In this video, this is going to pretty much explain how to min-max the hell out of this dungeon, so that way you're getting the most amount of XP on top of, making sure you're managing time just about right, so that way you're able to stay consistent with this. I'm going to show you guys two different parts. This first part right here that you guys are watching right now is just going to speed through for those that just want to be a visual learner and just kind of see the route based off of that. And then I'll also do one after the speed run that's going to show you guys a breakdown of how I do each pull, or how pulls should be pulled. That way you guys are making everything smooth and flawless. That way you can carry on and make your experience a little easier. So nonetheless, enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.
I will feast on more remains. What is music to us? What is music to us? What is music to us? Still, I thirst.
Alright, so now that you guys got a visual, I'm going to basically give you guys my mindset on what I'm doing while we're going through these pulls. They're pretty straightforward. I mean, nothing's really too complex. Now, when you guys are going for a good tank, just take in consideration, if they're dying constantly, kick them, get a new one. There's no reason why these tanks should be dying. I will say these runs are solely based off of your healer and your tank. The DPS are kind of just your little side quests. You just want to make sure you get someone that's actually geared if you're going to do these pulls, not someone that's in blues and greens. So ideally, full brutal, Sunwell Plateau gear, Black Temple, etc. Like you want decent gear to be able to maintain these pulls. So basically on this first pull is pretty easy. Anyone can grab these, just making sure you guys are all grabbing the spiders, putting them all in together rather than pulling them in one by one. You just want to get them all bunched up and then just basically AoE them down. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy about that. This next pull though, this one can be a little tricky. So as you can see right here, I'm pulling a spell flinger. Now these will sit and cast where they are. So it's ideal if you kill those spiders quick enough, because then you'll have these two packs over here to the left. That way you can grip in the flinger or spell interrupt, whatever the case is. If you guys don't have a DK, definitely interrupt these casts so that way they all bundle up and you guys can kill them quick. If there's just one person, no one really has some ranged countercast, no big deal, kill them last. But all you really want to do is just bundle them all up. It's a lot of grouping people together and just AoEing them down. It's pretty brain dead on what you're doing. What I usually do with the spiders that are in the little corners, some people will grab them while we're fighting this, and then I like to use one of my death and decays on that pack that you see in the far right over here, just for a quick 100 XP, you know, something super simple. They die really quick, so there really is no reason not to, and then by the time I take them out, you know, I have the death and decay up for this next pull. Same with this pull, you just want to get everyone together, have the tank pull the first two, especially the patrolling mob right here, and then once again, always grip the flinger or CC him, whatever the case is. Just make sure he's just not chilling there sitting. The tank normally with this group, this is one of the many runs that we've done, we'll pull the mob that you see right here into that flinger to the right, so that way they're all matched up. But as you can see, one's sitting in the open, no big deal, just finish them off when the whole pack's done. Pretty simple. Once you guys are done with this pack, you're gonna make your way over to the bridge. Once again, pull the flinger, knock out this mob. So the reason why the pack over here is essential to go for, because it kind of really gets you to the point where you're wasting the time to get those 12 minutes, if that makes sense. You don't want to go too quick, because then you're going to be locking yourself out. You really want to be able to find a positive route that's going to get you the most amount of time to be able to stay within that lockout time frame. So 11 minutes 30 seconds is usually what I like to go for, because it takes about 30 seconds to 40 seconds depending on how fast your group is to get into the next dungeon, so it prevents you from locking out. 11 minutes and 30 seconds is a good kind of goal to go for. If you do it in 10 minutes, I've done many runs in 10 minutes, no big deal. You'll just have like a 2-5 minute break at the end of your lockout, and then you guys go knock it out again. So it's not really a big deal. Really, just you guys just got to make sure you're staying within that window. Anything faster, you can do it faster, but anything faster, you know, you're going to be sitting around waiting. You want to be able to make things consistent without having to wait around. Boss is pretty simple. Don't really need to explain this. Moving on to this pack, though, this one can be a little tricky. So what I like to do, so as you can see, I put my death and decay a little bit over here. Usually the pack that you see kind of patrolling around is usually way over here, and sometimes it always varies. But I like to use my death and decay to pull both of them, so that way while we're pulling this pack to the left, we have the two packs over here already making their way over, and then the tank just takes aggro and gets them all grouped up. You'll have the two flingers kind of doing their own thing. So what I like to do, I usually have my silence and my grip up, so I'll grip and silence the both in. So as you can see, I'm getting everyone together. I don't think I silenced the other one. I don't know, maybe he got gripped in. We have 2 DKs, so that's also really ideal. There's many different comps you guys can do. But I just like to get everyone together, make sure that's all grouped up. A lot of people, can't stress this enough, a lot of people go left instead of right. Before that, for that boss that you guys seen right there, the first boss, go right and then go around and then grab these guys. You guys are missing a whole right side of mobs if you go left instead of right. I don't know why groups do that, but it was frustrating. Basically, once again, just mow these guys down. Coming down to here, this one can vary. Now this varies based off of your group's gear. You can pull this entire area, right? If you have a good group, you can pull this whole area. If you don't, only get one giant and one half, and then do the other half. So you guys want to split it up. This group, we were able to do the entire area, as you can see. There's a lot of damage going on. Just make sure you guys are CCing these casts. Those frostbolts hurt, so that's just the biggest thing when going through with this. If you have a giant that's all the way in Narnia, you know, don't make it to be out of your way to go grab them. Just pick them up at the end. It's not a big deal. You're not going to kill a lot of time by grabbing them at that one point. So no big deal there. So on this next part, so as you can see right here, this I like to coordinate. This is nice if you have somebody with a pet. So a DK, a hunter, a warlock are crucial for this one. This saves at least about 10-15 seconds on your guys' time by pulling these guys in. So what I like to do is right before we go up this right wing or left wing, doesn't matter, we always went right, I send my pet and I send him up here to get these mobs right here. So as you can see, as we're walking up, I'm spamming it down, so he's going up there. While we pull these, what I'm doing is I'm looking on the opposite side as well. So the moment my pet starts attacking, that's when I start to bring him back over. So as you see, he starts attacking, so now I'm bringing him back over here. So all those mobs are going to make their way down this ramp and up here. And then as you can see, I had the Warlock be our designated orb picker. So he's already going up there without having to worry about pulling these mobs. So this is making sure he doesn't die. So while these mobs are coming over here, he's clicking that orb and then making his way back over here to help melt these melt the mobs that we pulled. That way everything's fluent, so we don't have to walk all the way up the other ramp, click the orb, kill those mobs, etc. Like, you're just saving a lot of time by having people be consistent with that. Usually I'll have somebody like a Warlock, a Hunter. A Hunter would be ideal in a group because you can get Aspect to the Cheetah or the Aspect pack where everyone gets to run fast. That'll really make your time go quick. So I usually have someone like that that isn't really crucial in melee go over there. Warlocks can kill themselves a lot with, I think it's Shatter. I think it's just a new spell that they got. I see Warlocks die to it all the time on big packs because they just don't know how to use it properly. So I'll usually have the Warlock go over there while we're melting everything and picking up aggro so they don't die when they come and regroup with us. Moving on to the next, I mean, this is a boss, pretty self-explanatory. Nothing too much to this. Make sure you guys stack, obviously, so you guys don't have to be jumping around. That saves a lot of time if you guys stack. But moving on to this pack, so this one right here can be a little tricky if you guys don't have a DK. If you have a Paladin, our Paladin or a Warrior, that's fine. But if you have a DK, this makes this pull so much better. So basically what I do, or I'll have a tank do if they're the tank DK, you IC touch this pack right here, right in front of us. And then you'll see a patrolling pack going right down the middle. And then what I'll do is use my Death and Decay in between the two packs that you see on the left. So just skip this a little bit forward right here. So as you can see, he missed his, but when you see where I put mine, we're skipping way too hard, way too far. Let's try to get it right. So right about there, you want to get that circle to nick that top group, and then you want to get that group right below it as well. That way you're pulling both in one go. That way you're not wasting both Death and Decays. So this pack, just like the pack before, is very crucial on how well your gear is for your group. The reason why I say that is because this pack right here can wipe your entire group. Now, if you guys have good defenses, you guys are linking up, you guys are using anti-magic zone, you know, all that stuff. If you have DKs, then yes, this is very doable, especially if you have a really geared tank. Now, the reason why I say that is because you pull this pack right here, right? If your group isn't as geared and you don't find yourself being able to handle all these mobs at once, what I recommend is pulling this pack right here, get him to about 50% HP, and then what I do is the pack onto the left that you see on the left side of the stairs, I'll death grip that into it. That way we're able to get all the mobs in, make it all fluent. So as you see right about here, they're about 50%. That's where I'm gonna go grab this pack, grip them in, and then help finish off the rest of the mobs. That way everything is just consistent, rather than having to stop, wait, go grab a pack, and go right back in. You just want to make everything fluent. You know, it's the smoother the better. Make sure you guys are getting your CCs out on this. This is very crucial. Don't let them free cast. That's literally going to wipe your group. I've had so many wipes to this, and we're just trying to figure out, you know, a proper method to kind of do this. Some groups that I was in, I was able to get all of them at once just because everyone was up in Sunwall gear or just full brutal with enchants. Other groups, I would have to do something like this, just because they were still learning the aspect. I think this was our first run, by the way. First, like, official, like, fluent run after I showed them the route. So we were able to, I think, at one point, being able to pull all of them. But this one right here, you're going to have 3 mobs, the Forgotten Ones. Pull all of them. Once they get to about 25% HP, that's when you start pulling the boss, bring them into the boss with you, then start melting everything down. There's no reason to kill them and then go to the boss when you can just make everything a fluent run. Think of it like you're never out of mana, right? You're always able to run. That's ideally the goal that you want to go for when you're going for this run. That way everything is just staying on time. like I said, the time you want to shoot for is like 10 minutes to 12 minutes. Ideally, you want to be at 11 minutes and 30 seconds because that's just a good, consistent, constant run. But if you find yourself running this all day long, yeah, go for a 10-minute run. I would recommend just that way your group has some time to break, get up, stretch, do what you got to do. You guys will get burnt out if you guys do this for a very long time. So really just depends on how much of a grinder you guys are. But that's pretty much how this run goes. I've had runs where, I mean, I've gotten up to 680,000 XP per hour. Some where I've gotten up to 700, some even got up to 900,000. You know, it just really depends on what you're going for. It's really ideal if you guys have that 5% buff too on the top from, I think it's Wintergrass. That is huge. It's not always there, but I mean, when it is, definitely take advantage of it. It's definitely going to give you guys a big boost. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the run. Hope you guys learned something new. Hope I was able to help somebody that's trying to grind out to level 80. I know I just got level 80 today as we speak. So other than that, it's been Resto, guys. See you guys next time.